The American Parkinson Disease Association of Massachusetts has their annual Optimism Walk. It's coming up Sunday, May 18th at Bowditch Field in Framingham. We're so pleased to welcome to the program today the Executive Director of the Massachusetts chapter, Jessica Vanderstad, and also Kathy Thomas is here from the Information Referral Center at Boston University. So ladies, welcome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to talk about this walk and about Parkinson's disease in general, Jessica, because it's still kind of stigmatized a little bit in society, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
You know, the American Parkinson Disease Association, we really work every day tirelessly to ensure those with Parkinson or PD have the resources and support they need to live life to the fullest. And part of that is creating awareness so that more people talk about it and more people reach out if they're experiencing symptoms, they want information, or they're worried about a loved one.
Sure. We'll start with some just basic information, I think, and go from there. But for folks who might not know, what is Parkinson's disease?
Okay, well, thank you for doing this program.
Sure.
We really appreciate it. And Parkinson's is a neurological health problem that, so it means it impacts the brain. And what happens is there's a decrease in a neurotransmitter called dopamine, which, because there's not enough, people have some difficulty with moving. They may have some motor symptoms, which might be a resting tremor, muscle rigidity, slowness of movement, which for many people is the most disabling symptom, and then balance and gait or ability to walk can be impacted.
How can it be diagnosed, first of all, and then how can it be treated as it stands today?
Yeah, so that's two really important questions. Diagnosis can sometimes be very easy. Typically, a person may notice a symptom themselves or their healthcare provider or a family member. And sometimes, depending on the types of symptoms, the primary care physician may refer to a neurologist or a movement disorder specialist who will do an examination, really just watching the person, examining them. That's for many people, but other people it may take a long time for a diagnosis. There's been great progress in some of the diagnostic tools that we have, including using a DAT scan. There's even now a skin biopsy that can help with the diagnostic process.
Sure. How common is Parkinson's disease, Kathy?
So it seems to be more common recently.
Yeah.
About 1.6 or 1.7% of the population over the age of 65 have Parkinson's. So if we put that metric to Massachusetts, about 21,000 people are diagnosed. We are seeing more diagnoses, likely because that's a large demographic in our population right now.
Sure.
So,
Do you think it's been underdiagnosed up until recently?
it still remains being
Really?
underdiagnosed, probably because it's highly individualized from person to person. So some people, as I mentioned, may have obvious symptoms. Some may, it will take longer to determine if a person has Parkinson's. But even in areas such as we're fortunate to live in with lots of wonderful movement specialists, accessing healthcare still can be challenging. So people may not get that diagnosis as soon as they possibly could.
Yeah. Is Parkinson's disease hereditary, or is it genetic?
So that's a lot of great work is being done in that area. A very small percentage of people may have a genetic predisposition that we're aware of. So there are a number of what we call mutations or genetic mutations where people may be at risk because of certain genes. And there's a lot of work being done on how the environment may play a role in causing Parkinson's.
How have the treatments changed over the years?
So there's been great progress. Particularly, still the main treatment is to replace that dopamine that I mentioned. Many people take a tablet form, but In the last decade, there's been a number of ways to deliver these medicines, and even most recently, a new pump system, and not only with dopamine, but with some of the other dopaminergic medicines.
Is it important for early diagnosis, for successful treatments?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, that's once again really individualized. It's slowly progressive, and I always like to
Right.
emphasize that.
There's no cure, right?
No cure
Yeah.
at this time.
Okay, but the symptoms can be managed pretty successfully, it sounds like.
Yes, and it's always difficult to say that because
Well,
you want to make
everybody's
sure
different.
people have reality also. But
Yeah.
not only medications are important, but a lot of lifestyle, such as becoming a very avid exerciser,
Yeah.
and is important.
This is where the association, Jessica, comes into play, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, talk about some of the programs and services the association offers for folks, not only with Parkinson's, but with their families too, right?
Yes.
It's really important. It affects everybody.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
chapter is part of a nationwide network of support.
Okay.
So Massachusetts chapter of APDA serves all the way from Monterey to Martha's Vineyard and in between. Our focus really is the services of educational programs and resources, support groups, exercise and wellness classes, information referrals, hardship financial support programs, and much, much more.
Yeah.
But as Kathy mentioned, a huge part of that is just creating opportunities in the community programs that people with PD can engage with, whether it's a support group for themselves or their caregivers, their care partners, but really just creating that community of support.
Yeah.
And exercise is a huge part
Is
of
it
it.
really?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We have
So-
some amazing programs from boxing to rowing to pedaling with our community partners across the state.
Okay. So do you think that message is adequately communicated, that exercise is so important for folks with Parkinson? What does it do? What are the benefits of it?
I mean, I can speak, on the more of the community side.
Okay.
Those with Parkinson's often face isolation.
Oh, yeah.
So creating a sense of community is so important, and moving our bodies, getting connected. So while the exercise, and I'm sure Kathy can speak on the kind of medical side of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's also about just getting connected with one another
Right.
and knowing that you're not alone in your journey,
Yeah.
and finding that network of support.
Yeah. It's again, it goes back, I think, to that stigmatization where folks feel isolated, right, from their
Absolutely.
social circles, from their community, because they're a little more immobile, than they used to be. Is that fair, Kathy?
Absolutely. And talking about exercise, APDA also has a very robust research program. In fact, in Massachusetts, we have two Center of Advanced Research at Brigham and Women's Hospital and at Boston University Medical Center. And in addition, there's a very, very large trial because it's thought that exercise may actually be a neuroprotective in Parkinson's disease. So there's a major trial to make sure that this suggestion is correct, is ongoing across the U.S.
What does that mean, neuroprotective?
So to maybe alter the progression of the neuron deaths that you would have in Parkinson's disease, so slow the progression. And that's why there's such an aim to do this. And the trial that is ongoing is actually funded by our government, excuse me, and it's called the SPARKS trial. Which
Sparks.
Yes, so very important study.
Yeah, is Sparks an acronym for something? And if
I'm
you don't know,
sure it
if you don't
is.
know, it's okay. But folks
sure
can look
it
that up,
is,
I'm sure.
yes.
So when you say exercise, is it just I go to any gym and do any exercise, or is there specialized?
Yeah, so exercise has a lot of components.
Yeah.
But in this particular trial, research participants are actually walking on a treadmill.
Okay.
And it's delivered actually in Massachusetts. The study site is the Center of Neurorehabilitation at Boston University. So Dr. Terry Ellis is the PI, and her team delivers this program, and we're looking forward to the results.
Sure. Now you are headquartered, I guess, at the Information and Referral Center at BU for the Parkinson's Disease Association, is that right?
Yes, so
Okay.
we receive a grant
Yeah.
through the APDA,
Oh, okay. All right.
and we do have a large Parkinson Disease and Movement Disorder Center
Okay.
at Boston Medical Center and NBU, which they're side by side.
School,
Yeah.
teaching school, right?
Yes,
Okay.
right.
Oh, very good.
So
Okay. So it makes these services, Jessica, even that much more critical.
Absolutely.
Right, for funding. Now, is there a cost to access services from the Parkinson Disease Association?
So the Information Referral Center,
Mm-hmm.
their website as well as the phone number is always available. And the programs range. There's community-based programs that are little to no cost. There's some other programs that have a cost. It just really ranges. But we can absolutely get individuals connected to a program that works for them.
Okay.
And that goes the same if they're interested in boxing or yoga
Yeah.
or maybe trying something new.
Yeah. Do you do kind of outreach so folks know that you exist and you have these programs available?
We do.
Yeah.
We are very grassroots.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a small staff
Yeah.
team.
Small but mighty.
Yes,
right?
small but mighty. And we have an amazing board of directors and volunteer base. But we are always willing to go out to health and wellness fairs, really anywhere that will have us.
Yes.
We also have some media partnerships. April is Parkinson Awareness Month.
Oh.
So this month in particular is really a great opportunity to talk about it. And that leads up, of course, to our walk next month.
Yes, seeing as you brought it up, let's get right to it. It's called the Optimism Walk, and it is Sunday, May 18th at Bowditch Field in Framingham. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, 39th annual
Oh, wow.
Massachusetts Optimism Walk.
Oh, okay.
And I happen to be sitting next to someone who might have, started the event 38
Really?
years ago.
Is that right, Kathy?
That's true.
Yeah? Tell me about that.
Well, I was only 9 years old.
Weren't we all? Yes.
Yeah, so as I said, I've been working in this area for a long, long time
Yeah.
as a nurse, and we decided to do something and have a walk so that we could raise, at that time, through the APDA, money for research.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had that walk for a good number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people from Quincy have participated.
Mm.
We've been in different areas around the state.
Yeah.
So.
What is it that you were seeing as a nurse that said, gee, we better do something more about this?
Oh my goodness, that's a really, really good question. I always like to really admire people that are living with this health condition, the struggles that they may have, and also their family members.
Right.
Care partners, really important. They really help people hold it together. But just great resilience, and as Jessica mentioned, a willingness to exercise and work hard and come out and be strong, and so seen some wonderful things.
Yeah,
for sure.
I guess I'm not surprised that a nurturer like a nurse would see that in people and want to do something about that. And obviously
Thank
it's been a
you.
great success because it's been 39 years going strong.
Exactly.
So Jessica, tell me about that day. What will be happening at that field in Framingham?
Yeah, so the Massachusetts Optimism Walk is one of several that APDA hosts
Oh.
across the nation. This is our largest gathering in New England for the PD community. It's a free community event, so individuals can register online.
Okay.
And they can form a team, or they can register as an individual. Once registered, they have an option to fundraise, which all the funds we raise go back to support many of the programs we spoke about today. But more than anything, it's just about hope and optimism.
Yeah.
Creating an event that everyone can come out. We even have a charter bus that brings constituents out from Western Mass.
Oh.
It truly is a statewide event.
Yep.
It's also a great opportunity for if you're interested in learning more about PD, or if you're looking for more resources and support. We have a lot of our community partners and also our medical and partners as well that will host tables there for information.
Oh, very good. So check-in pre-event that morning at 11 a.m. and then ceremony and a walk at noon. What's the ceremony consist of?
Yeah, so we have an opening ceremony. And this year we'll be announcing, well, we've already announced, but we'll be recognizing our Sean Thornton Service Award. She's an amazing individual, Sarah Singer, who's been involved in the community for many, many years. We're honored that she's part of the event and to recognize her. And the opening ceremony will just be an opportunity to really recognize our top fundraisers, our top teams, and kind of create an atmosphere of energy and hope before we start to walk. The walk itself is around the track, so you can walk as little or as much as you'd like. And we will be there, rain or shine. But we're hoping for the shine part
Obviously,
of it.
right, yes, okay. Well, we hopefully have May flowers after all these April showers, right? Exactly, yes. And about how long is the whole event take?
Yeah, we'll probably wrap up about 1 o'clock.
Oh, so okay,
we
so-
do have a lunch as well.
Oh, you do?
We partner
Okay.
with the Lions Club that will be providing us lunch.
Yep.
And we have some special things like Chick-fil-A and other community partners. So it truly is just a wonderful event to come out to and
Yep.
be a part of.
It says family-friendly activities, fun incentive prizes.
Prizes.
What are the prizes?
So as it is a fundraising event, and this
Yes.
is one of our largest fundraising events in Massachusetts, we encourage people to register online, as I mentioned, and start a fundraising page. And along the way, they can earn incentives. Of course, one of our hottest
Yes,
items
do
every
show.
year is
Yes.
the T-shirt. So this is last year's shirt.
Okay.
So
Hold that up nice and high.
Yeah,
There we go. Good, yeah.
can't tell you what color it is going to be this year. It's a little bit of a
Oh,
surprise.
I was just gonna ask.
I
Okay.
can tell you it won't be green though.
Not great.
That's what I can
All right.
tell you.
So they could wear
Um,
last year's shirt at this year's
Absolutely,
one. Okay.
yes. And many people show up in last year's shirt, and then they earn their shirt, this year, and they keep it. So this is kind of the prize. So $100 gets you a T-shirt.
Okay.
$500 gets you a really cool cooler bag this year.
Okay.
And then if you raise $1,000 as an individual, you become part of our Optimist Club, and that gets a special medal. So really great, just opportunity for everyone.
Yeah, very good. Do you have a goal in mind for the fundraiser?
We do 160,000.
Okay.
And I know that we're really closing in on 100 very, very quickly.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay, still time.
Yeah, still time. But the key is registering early and getting started early.
Sure. And do the funds raised for this event go to any particular area of the association, or is it just general operating?
It goes to support local programs and
Yeah.
resources. I mean, that's what I can say. I'm really proud to be part of an organization where
Yes.
I can see the funds that we raise go right back into the community to make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yes, so many of the programs we spoke about, of course, the Information Referral Center. I think the key thing is that, as you mentioned, creating awareness in the community
Mm-hmm.
and also increasing funds, because we know that more and more people are being diagnosed every year.
Mm-hmm.
So the work of what we do is just so important. So that's why events like the Optimism Walk are a great thing to be part of.
Yeah,
We're excited.
happy to be able to talk about it here and get some more exposure for you as well. Do you think, Kathy, there'll ever be a cure for Parkinson's?
Hopefully
Yeah.
so, but actually over my tenure of working with people, clearly there's been great improvements
Yes.
along the way.
Yeah.
So we can only hope, but that's our aim.
Yeah. Is there enough focus on it, do you think, from the research community?
There are a lot of really good researchers.
Yeah.
Funding is always an issue.
Yeah.
Keeping research programs active and robust is important. But there is a lot of interest, for sure.
That's great. And, organizations like the association, I think, are so important. I don't think folks who have not experienced Parkinson's disease in their family don't realize the impact that it can have on the entire family. It's such a degenerative disease that you can watch a loved one just kind of slip away, and it has a devastating effect on everybody that's impacted by it, for sure. So to have the support group of the association and an event like the walk, it kind of pulls the veil back and shows it what it is. Yeah,
And I
takes
think-
the fear away.
Yeah, and what you mentioned earlier about the stigma, I think that is so true, because a lot of times we don't realize we have a direct connection to Parkinson because we don't talk about it.
Sure.
And I've
Yeah.
met many individuals that have just, once they've started talking about it, realized that, an uncle, a friend's father, and one connection away. And I think more importantly, with the walk and the work we do, it's about hope. And hope is something everyone can understand. Hope for ourselves, hope
Right.
for others, hope for the community. So that's why it's so important. Even if you may not have a direct connection, come out, volunteer, fundraise, be a part of our event, because it truly is. It impacts more people than we realize.
It's talking about it in events like this is really 50% of the battle, right?
Right.
Yes.
It
yes,
really
for sure.
is. So if you're not experiencing that, here's a great way to get involved and help yourself and maybe help others too at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else we should share right now?
No, I think just
Okay.
really thank you for
Sure.
highlighting this condition and certainly the walk, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you're very welcome. Anything else, Jessica?
You know, I think just, if anybody wants more information,
Yes.
our website is a great place to start.
Yep.
Also the Information Referral Center and that
Yep.
phone number. But just reach out and we'd be happy to guide you through your journey and help you learn more about Parkinson's disease and what you can do to make a difference.
APDAMA.org is the website to go to. American Parkinson Disease Association, Massachusetts, right? Chapter. And then the information referral phone number is 617-638-8466. And again, the Massachusetts Optimism Walk 39th Annual is coming up Sunday, May 18th at the Bowditch Field in Framingham. Thank you so much, ladies. Great to
Great.
talk
Thank
to you.
you.
You're very welcome.
Thank
And
you.
I hope you have a successful event again this year.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for watching us here at AM Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. We'll see you next time.